What is up, guys? Zan from the Zan Madden YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to go over the single best cover 2 beater at this point in Madden 21. But before we get into the video, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you guys take the time to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the uploads coming your way here on the Zan Madden YouTube channel. If you guys want to take your game to the next level, check out my brand new website, gridirongameplans.gg. Gridiron Game Plans is a one-stop source for all things competitive Madden. If there's a meta running around the community, every single Sunday in our Vault update, we'll take a look at a topic or topics dedicated to showing you how the meta is run and how to counter it. That way you guys can run it or you guys can counter it whenever you go up against it. On top of that, your subscription will include all offensive and defensive game plans. So anything released on the website is unlocked for the low price of $9.95 a month. You guys can opt out at any time. There is no minimum lock-in contract. Okay, guys, without further ado, let's get into today's video. We're going to go over the play Z spot in the gun bunch. Now, I believe there's 23 playbooks in the game that have bunch. And out of those 23, I think 21 have this play Z spot. So you guys are gonna be able to run this pretty much. If you have bunch, you've got it. So let's go ahead and get into it. This is going to be the single best cover 2 beater in the game. This is a really good play. And honestly, I kind of hemmed and hawed about, do I want to put this on the website? Do I want to put it out on the YouTube channel? And ultimately I decided on the YouTube channel because this is something that I think shows you the level of detail that I take into the tips that I put on Gridiron Game Plan. So, you know, hopefully this gives you guys a little bit of a peek behind the curtain as to how little things change how the game works under the hood. So let's go ahead and take this on the field Z spot out of the gun bunch. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to set this up just generically against your standard Tampa 2 defense right now. This is the clubhouse leader. In terms of just the way this play is being run, I'm going to actually show you a way that it's not being run that makes it better. But just the way that this play works, in general, what players could do is they could streak the inside tight end, flat route the B receiver, and then they just kind of motion him outside. And then what they do is they notice that if they don't play zone rules, that motion flat will pull down the outside cloud flat, allowing you to throw that ball over the top for an easy gain. Now, the beauty of this play is that it actually also beats the zone drop. So if I were to go into the coaching adjustments menu, go to flats and set my flats to drop to 25 or even 30 yards, I'm gonna set them for 25 here. You're gonna be able to clear those with this play. So if I were to go right back to the Tampa 2 and say, hey, you know what, cloud flat, let's go ahead and drop 25 yards back. I want to show you that this play still works. So again, with the setup of streaking the tight end, flatting the B receiver, and then we're going to get to these two guys here in just a few minutes. But again, motioning this guy to the outside, Gilmore's going to drop to 25 yards, but you're still going to be able to tuck this throw over the top of him as he hits the sideline. So you see how we're able to fit that throw right there. Now, the problem is that safety gets over there, and that's the problem with this play. So what a lot of players will end up doing is they'll need to hit their check down on this play. So I just wanted to show that particular corner route still gets over the top of the cloud flat. We're going to get to what that safety did here in just a minute. But again, you know, you're going to notice that when you run this, for the most part, you could go ahead and, you know, roll out and you're going to be able to chuck that corner route over the top. You see right there, that time we let the tight end kind of get out there. And unfortunately, the receiver didn't animate correctly, but you're able to get that throw in over the top. Now, in that previous example, you notice that the tight end held that safety a little bit better. This is where this play gets wild. This is where we're going to introduce something that other people aren't doing with this motion of the B receiver to the outside. Now, it goes without saying, if your opponent is playing 25-yard cloud flats, I mean, you could hit this throw all day. I mean, just let him turn around and chill, throw the ball out there in the flat and pick up 10 yards. I mean, pretty easy that you could do that, right? But I'm going to make this absolutely wild. We're going to have that check down open and we're going to have so much more open on this play. So now let's go ahead and talk about the backside receiver. This is a route called a fade stop. Fade stop is one of my favorite routes in the game. It was one of my favorite routes last year. Unfortunately, the Blitz 7 meta kind of derailed it. But the rules of this route still apply in Madden 21 if your opponent isn't playing regular default coverage. So it rather is playing default coverage. So let me go ahead and go back to the coaching adjustments, and I'm going to set this to default. So we're going to go back into that cover 2, and I'm going to show you what the fade stop does on the backside of this play. A lot of players get rid of this route against pretty much every coverage. And I think it's one of the best routes in the game. I think it spaces really, really well. Smart route, this route. Now, you notice that it goes up to, you see the ball spotted on the 45. It goes to the opposite 40, which looks like 15 yards. This route actually goes about 18, 19, 20 yards downfield and clears cloud flats. So what we're going to do on this play is we're now going to swing the running back, playing a simple curl flat combo, which is going to place this outside corner on the left, McCourty, into conflict. He has to decide, do I guard Metcalf on the deep route or Carson on the short route on my sideline? Now we're going to keep our route combination here on the wide side, but I want to go ahead and just focus primarily on this route, this fade stop. So you're going to see here how that fade stop just sits in a really, really good spot on the field against cover 2, right? So that's good. Let's take it a step further. This is where this play gets absolutely glitchy. We're going to go ahead and run the fade stop curl flat combo on the backside. We're going to go ahead and run our route combination on the front side with the street corner and flat. But we're going to introduce a trick right here. We've been motion snapping Dorsett where he's just been kind of in motion. We're going to make him stumble into his route. And when we make him stumble into his route, it completely changes how that safety played. Do you remember a few snaps back when that safety covered all the way over on the sideline? We're going to make him do that. And what's going to end up happening is when that rule plays, that safety fans out, the other safety on the short side, McCourty, right here, this McCourty, since I have two McCourties, this safety will also widen out. So I want you to watch how this is done. We're going to motion snap him out towards the numbers, and we're going to snap it as late as possible so he stumbles into the route. What ends up happening is the safety on the left side of the field plays the fade stop. And what ends up happening is that streak route doesn't really get matched step for step by the mid-read zone. And what ends up happening is now, because of this motion snap, and actually right here, the deep half safety on this side didn't really do a crazy job. You see that we have the corner route open. We have the flat route open. You could still throw this fade stop because this safety is really not, you see that McCourty, like if I were to show you McCourty here, I mean, this route is open and this route is open. So on this play against cover 2, default settings, you've got a 30-yard corner, a 1-play touchdown, a 20-yard curl, and 10 yards in the flat if you throw the flat route, after the cloud flat backs up. If you throw it and check it down and run upfield, you got about 6 to 10 yards. So this is against your stock coverages. Now, because of this play being able to beat cover 2 so badly, what so many players are going to do is go to their coaching settings. So let's get back into our coaching settings again. Let's go ahead and throw the 25, maybe even 30-yard flats out there on the field. Now let's go ahead and show you. This is what's really wild about this play to me, is that this play is still just as good against the zone drops in cover 2 as it is against the default. And typically speaking, the zone drops are designed to help take away deeper options. So let's go ahead and go back to our setup. Smart route your fade stop, swing the running back for a curl flat option, streak the tight end, put the B receiver on a flat, and we're going to motion snap, making it so he stumbles into his route. You're going to roll out. You're going to throw an outside left pass lead to your tight end down the seam, wide open for the 1-play score. So now what ends up happening is your opponent has to play this player in a deep middle third to stop this. So we go back to our setup here. This is how you'll try to counter it. Motion snap here. Going to look for the rollout, roll out. You see right here at this point, you're probably just scrambling. That's really going to be your counters, the 25-yard curl flats. And right there too, we also didn't make him stumble into his route. But what you're going to see here on this play now is because of the way that they are playing their zone, the rollout is so much more viable. The check down in both flats is literally insane. I mean, bang, bang. And honestly, if they're going to play 25-yard curl flats, I would put the running back on a curl in the middle of the field. I would put the running back on a curl in the middle of the field because that is going to be the hole that's going to be vacated on this play. So basically, you take a look at Bentley. I'm going to put him back into the middle third. You could go ahead and put the running back on a curl right here and do the same thing. So again, snapping the ball late. So if Dorsett stumbles into his route, You see how you've just got checkdowns galore. I mean, even right there, if you notice, our fade stop sits underneath a 25-yard curl flat or cloud flat. Let's go ahead and show that on the backside now. Also keep in mind that your opponent is going to use one of the vert hooks if they're going to play a mid-read zone. So chances are they're going to be using this guy. They're going to be using Jonathan Jones here. You know, they're not just going to sit there on a D tackle. So, you know, one of these hook zones is going to be playing somewhere, and they're going to have to be playing pretty aggressively underneath on the quarterback scramble. You know, so the running back hook is something that will be open, even though it looks like the vertical hook right here is covering Carson. It's really, really not. So you see here, like if I play this route combo, again, motion snap, so he kind of stumbles into his route. You see how, like, I mean, you could manipulate everything. You know, if you kind of just do some paying attention to the zone drops on this play, it gets really crazy. Here's another thing you could do. Wheel your running back on this play, because what ends up happening is he'll go down the field so far against these 25-yard curl flats, and it should put that curl flat into kind of a conflict situation. So, or I'm sorry, the cloud flat on a conflict situation. So you see here, I'm gonna let him run the wheel. It's gonna back him up, and then you can throw that ball underneath if there's enough room. Or step away from the throw. That's another thing you could do too. So you notice that in the first example, when we stepped kind of glide to the left, or I'm sorry, the right against this coverage, how that 25-yard cloud flat kind of plays different. You see how you've got a better angle this time to throw that ball. And I know that's crazy, but I mean, you do. I mean, you know how catching a traffic is in this game. So it's not that you can never throw it. I mean, if they're setting their zone depths to 25 yards, I mean, there are definitely ways to beat this. I mean, you know, in general, I just think that, you know, this is one of those plays. Again, you motion snap to the outside. I mean, here's the mid-read situation again. I mean, look how that mid-read is just like, it just leaves it completely alone. I mean, and that's Olsen, who's lost a step, and Russ, that doesn't have the greatest throw power in the world, and we're able to really fit that throw in. But again, the secret here to making the safeties do the crazy stuff is really getting the motion snap timing down. You really want him to stumble into his route, and that's what really makes the safeties fan out. And you see how that safety on the left just chills, and that's going to open up this throw all the way over the top against the cover two for the one-play score. Guys, that is today's video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, drop them below. Make sure you guys check out gridirongameplans.gg. Our Washington football team, I about said the other name, is our offense is up on the website right now. You guys can go check it out. It's included in your subscription along with any and all vault updates. We've got 3 vault updates already up in the first 3 weeks of Madden 21, and we'll proceed to update the vault weekly and keep the content flowing on the website as well as here on the YouTube channel. So hopefully we'll see you guys here tomorrow. Until then, this is Zan. Get in the lab and good luck.